African nations are witnessing a spate of military coups. After Niger, it's now Gabon. A group of senior military officers announced seizing power and placing the president under house arrest minutes after the presidential election results were out, giving Ali Bongo Ondimba a third term in power. The military takeover in Gabon was announced live on the television channel Gabon 24 by a group of Gabonese military officers. They claimed that Gabonese President Ali Bongo Ondimba was placed under house arrest and one of his sons has been arrested for treason. The officers claimed they represented all security and defense forces in the African nation. They rejected the election results, announcing closure of all borders until further notice. The group also announced that state institutions were dissolved with immediate effect. The military coup came just hours after the presidential election results were announced by the State Election Committee that declared President Ali Bongo Ondimba had won the election with 64% of the vote early on Wednesday morning. Within minutes of the announcement, loud sounds of gunfire could be heard in the center of the capital, Libreville. In a video appeal, the deposed President Ali Bongo, who has been placed under house arrest, urged his supporters to rise up against the military coup in Gabon.
I'm Ali Bongo Ondimba, President of Gabon, and I'm to send a message to all the friends that we have all over the world to tell them to make noise, For the people here have arrested me and my family. My son is somewhere, my wife is in another place, and I'm at the residence. Right now, I'm in the residence. And nothing happening. Nothing is happening. I don't know what's going on. So I'm calling you to make noise, really. I'm thanking you. Thank you.
Now, according to reports, every vote held in Gabon since the country's return to a multi-party system in 1990 has ended in violence. Clashes between government forces and protesters after the 2016 election killed several people. In anticipation of post-electoral violence, many people in the capital fled to other parts of the country or left Gabon altogether. Before polls closed last Saturday, Gabon's government had announced a nationwide curfew and cut off internet access. After the announcement of the coup, General Brice Oligui Nguema, head of the Presidential Guard of ousted President Ali Bongo Ondimba, was carried in triumph by hundreds of soldiers. The cries of Oligui, President. France, which has economic interests in Gabon, has condemned the coup, saying it is closely monitoring the situation. French Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne said that France is following events in Gabon with the greatest attention. France is a former colonial power in Gabon whose influence in Africa is seen as being undermined by a series of recent coups that have toppled friendly governments. Meanwhile, China says it is also monitoring the situation closely. Chinese spokesperson called on all sides in Gabon to resolve differences through dialogue and restore normal order as soon as possible. China has also called for the personal safety of deposed President Ali Bongo Ondimba. Ali Bongo Ondimba had visited Beijing in April and met with President Xi Jinping, who declared him an old friend of the Chinese people. Russia, too, has reacted to the developments, stating that it was concerned by the situation in Gabon and are closely following what is going on there. Wilson Kembo is a political and security risk consultant from West Yorkshire, United Kingdom. Wilson, thank you very much for making time for us and welcome to WION World is One. Many thought that the Gabon elections is a done deal. President Ali Bongo portrayed a picture of carrying his family legacy forward. Many even thought it would be an obvious win for Bongo until the internet was cut. Then doubts started coming in. What might have infuriated the military for them to take this action?
Firstly, I have a feeling that the coup in Gabon is slightly different to what has happened in Guinea, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Because this coup, I have a feeling, while in the other countries, the military there have taken power so that they will stay in power, I have a feeling that this time around in Gabon, the military are actually trying to restore the constitutional democracy in the country, which they believe that has been uh, manipulated by one family for over 6 decades.
Wilson, unlike Niger, like you mentioned there, Gabon is not part of ECOWAS. With that in mind, what regional body can save this tiny nation, and how much influence does France have over Gabon? Can they save the situation?
France, they just like Gabon, like the other countries, France over the years has been undermined by anti-colonial sentiments that have actually been manipulated by the politicians to curtail or to divert the blame for their failure to govern to the French. So for the other countries, there have actually been other foreign influences beyond France that have actually been in support of this coup. Especially Russia, there's a footprint, Russian footprint in most of the country, which is quite different to Gabon, because Gabon has got a completely different economic status, as well as the situation in Gabon was slightly different to the other countries, because Gabon economically is one of the well-off countries in the region. But the problem now has been that one family has been in power for almost 60 years.
Yes.
So, and for every election, as you have rightly said, that has ended in violence, that means the elections have been disputed over and over. And the military, in most cases, has kind of supported the regime. But I think sometimes at one point you say, I think this is the right time. Maybe we adopt a completely different direction to the country and possibly establish a constitutional democracy that respects all the tenets of democracy. So in my view, I think these, as long as the international community come in and together with the military leaders there and create a roadmap, let's say 6 months, whereby a free and fair election is put in place and people are able to vote to the government they want. I think these military leaders in Gabon, I expect them to leave power, unlike in the other countries where they're actually trying, like Guinea or where Burkina Faso, where they're actually intending to stay in power. So that's my view when it comes to the differences between Gabon and the other countries.
All right. Wilson, just a clarification. I did ask about the regional powers in the continent. Will they be able to save the situation in Gabon now that Gabon is not a member of ECOWAS? What can ECOWAS do, or what can the other regional bodies do at this hour?
The fact that Gabon is not a member of ECOWAS has got not much of an influence. But Gabon still remains a West African country. So I think the countries in the region, they still have a relationship with Gabon, not as part of ECOWAS, but as Gabon as one of the regional states. So I believe that together with the international community, including the countries within West Africa, they can come together and work alongside the military and ensure that what they are saying, they live by what they are saying, that they're there just to restore the constitutional order and establish constitutional democracy in the country. So I think through the United Nations, I think a roadmap can be created. Because in my view, I still don't think giving back the power to Bongo is the way forward. I think enough is enough. One family cannot rule one country. It's not a kingdom. So I have a completely different feeling to the coup in Gabon, unlike in the other countries where I think it's just opportunistic soldiers trying to stay in power. But I think the military in Gabon, they think they've been part of the oppressing system for too long. And now maybe they want to take a different path whereby actually the people are able to govern themselves, not just one family.
All right, not just one family. Let's see how that pans out. I've been talking to Wilson Kembo. He's a political and security risk consultant from West Yorkshire, United Kingdom. Wilson, thank you very much for your insight and for talking to WION World is One today. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.